All right, you ready to roll?
Ready as I'll ever be.
3, 2. Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ. Joining me, as always, man with the number, sportsbook whisperer, college basketball guru, daddy of the diamond. All hail the king of the links, the man who is in a interesting battle with the internet right now, the money train. Noah, how you doing today, Bob?
Yeah, I'd be a lot fucking better if I had reliable internet that worked.
I get it. It happens. It happens, Noah. But we're going to try to get through this. We've got a great slate of college football, a nice slate of the NFL to talk about, bet on, how we do things here. Before we go any further, do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best if you like what we're cooking. Please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. I do think it's worth mentioning, Noah, since we are a sports show. Congratulations to Paul Skeens and Tariq Skubal for, going ahead and deciding to win Cy Youngs. Tariq going back to back. Paul Skeens, this is being his first one, right, Noah?
Yep.
Congratulations to the two of them. Detroit Tigers. Not a huge fans of them, but I am going to go ahead and give them some free advice, Noah. And we do this every once in a while on the show. Pay this man however much money he wants. Like, do not play games with Tariq Skubal. Do not send him to free agency. Don't trade him. He is an actual, shining spot on your team. Please go ahead and keep him. You got anything on that, Noah?
I don't think Detroit's going to cough up the type of money that it's going to take to keep him around. He'll be wearing pinstripes or Dodger blue here pretty soon.
Hey, maybe Mets. Maybe the Mets, they like to spend a lot of money and, and then sell off half the team going into the trade deadline. Shout out to the New York Mets. Hope they never change. Sick, though, dude. You want to go ahead and just jump right into college football? I mean, got a good slate. You did another just very nice job, Noah. I do want some explanations, though, on a couple of games you put on the slate. So you ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, let's start with the first game. I want some answers for Noah. Arizona, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, 6.5-point favorites here at home. 56.5 is the total. 78% of the bets, 58% of the money coming in on Cincinnati. Everyone and their moms on Cincinnati on the money line. I've been looking at this game, Noah. I've been really looking at this game, scratching my head about this game, trying to figure out why you would put us in another position to bet against Arizona. Unfortunately, when, the numbers and everything might be pointing to Arizona here. Do you think that Arizona has a solid chance to win this one? Or are we just at that point where we're going to start making money off how bad Arizona is historically in the end of the season?
Nah, bro, Arizona's not even bad.
I know.
Mean, we're sitting at 6-3, pretty much 2 plays away from being 8-1 with wins against BYU and Houston. No, this is a good team. This is a good Arizona team. This is also a really good Cincinnati team. Don't lose that. Cincinnati's pretty capable. They're good. They're playing at home. They probably should win this, but I do think Arizona's definitely got a fighting chance.
I couldn't agree more here, Noah. I couldn't agree more in here. I mean, Cincinnati got blown out by Utah, and the CFP definitely punished them for that. And, Arizona did play Utah better. And if we're using, transitive property, that is something to look at here. To mention...
We didn't play Utah.
Oh, it was Houston, wasn't it? And I got the fucking things mixed up again, didn't I?
We did play Houston at Houston.
Yep. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and mark that for edit, as if we edit the show. Anyway, I'm taking the bait, Noah. I'm taking the bait. It's a weird line. It's a funky line. I'm taking Arizona plus the 5.5 here. I think the offense is going to keep Cincy's defense on its heels. I need Arizona's defense to show up a little bit, though. Need him to show up a little bit and play one of the better games they've had if we have a chance at winning this football game. But, hey, Fafita's been doing his thing. I'm a fan of what's going on in Arizona. Give me the Wildcats plus the 5.5. And shout out to the absolutely beautiful blowout last night against NAU. That's how you do it, ASU, by the way. Anyway.
What blowout?
Against NAU. Basketball.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm riding with Arizona plus 6.5 on this one. I think been running the ball really well. Did I?
No, keep going. Your audio's there. I think your
okay.
picture will just get going.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so we've been running the ball really well. Defense is forced turnovers. They are giving up a lot of yards and points as well, but those turnovers really making up for it. I think Arizona can keep this one close. I think they'll have a chance at winning on the road. Would be really big, would shake things up a little bit. If BYU or Texas Tech is to lose another game. But I got faith in the Cats, man. I think they'll make this one interesting at the very least.
Let's do it. Bear down, go Cats plus the 5 and 6.5, depending on the book you are looking at. RIP ESPN bet, by the way. They're done December 1st. Penn Gaming losing another sponsorship. Anyway, let's go to.
I don't know if I'd say rest in peace, but
I mean, let's be respectful to what tried to be a sports book. And I don't blame ESPN. It's Penn Gaming. Their book sucks. Their line sucks. And they just continue to get into partnerships that they overpay for and don't work out. And I don't know what genius said, hey, let's team up with ESPN and those brilliant people there that are their on-air talent. Anyway. ESPN bad. Penn Gaming bad. Continuing on. College game day, though, Noah. That's a good thing that ESPN does. Would love to be able to watch it on my TV instead of streaming it from the shitty app on my phone. We'll see if those geniuses over there can figure that out. I'm so done with ESPN, dude. Anyway. And then I pay so much fucking money for this app, and it just doesn't work. Okay. Notre Dame, 12.5 point favorites, 55.5 is the total on the road at Pitt. 54% of the bets, 91% of the money coming in on Pitt here. But every money, every dollar, every bet on Notre Dame money line. Noah, what you got here?
Pitt's been playing a lot better after making a quarterback change.
Yep.
They've looked like a formidable team. I don't feel it, man. Notre Dame's been playing a lot better as of late, and I think they're going to go in there and kick their asses. I will say weird things happen playing at Pitt. It's a really tough environment to play at. I think here's the thing. I think Pitt could stay in this game close enough to dance this line, but I don't think they have a chance of winning it, and I'm going to go ahead and just take Notre Dame minus 12.5 and hope they can keep some separation here and not let this thing stay close into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Notre Dame's just blown everyone out pretty much since the first 2 weeks, and I think things are going to continue to happen. Shout out to Pitt, looking a lot better, promising for the future. Notre Dame minus the 11.5. Thank you very much. Keeping it moving, Noah, we've got USF at Navy. USF 10.5 point favorites, 9.5 points depending on the book on the road here. 65.5 is the total. Got 52% of the bet, 70% of the money coming in on Navy, with every dollar and every bet on USF money line. Noah, Navy's had a rough couple of weeks. Lost to Notre Dame, lost to North Texas. Not good teams in their own right. Navy, though, playing well. I don't know if Navy is going to be able to hold it together right now against USF. I like the way USF's playing. I think they're still going to make the playoffs. Need this win here. Keep the tempo up. Give me USF minus the 9.5. I like that a lot. You freeze on me, Noah?
No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I'm here. This one's going to be interesting. 10 points. Good, but USF's definitely a much better team. I could see maybe Navy keeping this a little bit closer by just running a bunch of clock and shrinking the amount of possessions that there are in
Yeah.
the game. But at the end of the day, it's a 10-point spread. USF is the much better team. I expect them to go in there and put some belt to ass like we've seen them do to quite a few teams this year so far.
I agree, and I think it's going to happen. And I mean, now with that being said, would love nothing more for the Naval Academy if they went ahead and beat USF and try to sneak their way into the playoff. I would love to see an armed forces school in the playoff, but nah, USF built ass. Let's keep it moving. Excuse me. Next game on the slate, Noah, we've got Oklahoma, Alabama. Bama, 5.5-point favorites at home. 45.5 is the total. What are you thinking about this one?
I think the way that teams have been playing lately, especially these two, you look at them, I don't see why I wouldn't take Bama minus less than a touchdown at home. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't really matter to me who they're playing in the SEC. I think I would even ride Bama minus 6 points if they had Texas A&M coming into town. Even though I do have Texas A&M, I think I moved them up to my number 2 team in the country.
not bad.
And so, yeah, but I mean, playing at Bryant Denny, I mean, it's a really tough place to play. If this game's played at Oklahoma, I still take Bama, at minus 1.5, 2.5. I may even take them all the way up to like 6.5 if they were playing at Oklahoma, but they're playing at home. It's less than a touchdown. I'm gonna go ahead and ride with Bama on this one.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more here. Give me Bama minus the 6.5. They've just kind of come into form lately, and I love it. And then I also love this: 59% of the bet, 72% of the money coming in on Oklahoma, plus that 6.5, depending on the book. So, any chance I can fade the public and I have numbers to support it, Noah, that's a good day for the AJ. That's a good day for the Brofict one. Anyway. Let's keep it moving. Whoops, that is not what I was looking for. Nope, come on. Why are you doing this to me? There we go. Anyway, Virginia, Duke, 4.5-point favorites at home. What is that? 58.5 is the total. 51% of the bet, 74% of the money coming in on Duke here, Noah. This is an interesting one. Both teams doing fairly well in the ACC. Virginia 5-1, Duke 4-1. I think I saw some master nuclear scenario where if Duke wins this, the ACC is out of the playoffs. Does that track?
Most likely. I mean, it depends on what other things happen, but yeah, Duke is the ACC championship winner with 4 losses. Including one of those 2 Tulane. I got to imagine the American Conference winner, and if James Madison is sitting at 12-1 and wins the Sun Belt, I imagine both the American Conference winner and James Madison would get in over an ACC team. Mountain West was at play until San Diego State decided to just lose to Hawaii last week. Now I think that is mostly shut on the Mountain West, but yeah, you could very well have that. I don't think they'll get the nod, but I've got a soft spot for Kennesaw State, and if they continue and go undefeated through Conference USA schedule, and they're sitting at 11-2 conference champions, I still would argue that's a stronger resume than
I would agree.
Duke program.
I do just want to put this on the record, Noah. If Kennesaw State does get a nod into the playoffs, I will be taking out a sprinkle on them to win the Natty. I just want that. I want that on the air. Anyway. Do you think that's going to happen, though? Do you think Duke's going to win this game?
I do think Duke's going to win this game.
Wow.
Man, I've been so anti-Virginia this year.
I get it.
I never once put them into my damn rankings. Actually, I think I may have one fucking week right before they lost. But that was out of spite. I got to go back and look here because
I think it was just a spite one.
what did I have? No, I didn't even put them in my top 25 ever because I was like, this team is not good. They lost last week. I had NC State outright, so that felt good. Had Cal outright last week too. Yeah, they're gonna drop another one here to Duke, and the wheels are falling all the way off the fucking wagon with Virginia. And this is what happens if whatever they were a one-loss team and undefeated in conference play. Yeah, guess what? It took them overtime in what 3 or 4 games? I think 4 times
3
in overtime this season. Something like that.
Yeah, 3 or 4. I think I'm leaning more towards the 3, but continue.
Yeah, so ultimately less impressive when you're having to go to overtime to beat middle of the pack ACC teams.
I get it, but we also talk about, but like one thing we always talk about, Noah, if in order to win championships in sports, not only do you have to be good, but you got to be lucky. The ball's got to bounce your way. And some years there are teams that the ball doesn't bounce their way. Look at UNC. Then again, that might just be a whole other issue. And then, you got Virginia where everything does seem to be bouncing their way. Does it take overtime? Yes, but scoreboard at the end of the game is they have more points.
Well, they didn't last week, and I tell you what, they're not going to have more points again this week. Duke wins this game outright. I love that they're favored by fucking 4.5 points too. It's not even the book's not even like giving Virginia any benefit here. It's like no. And I don't think they're wrong for it. I wish this wasn't a 4-point spread. It would make it easier to bet. But I'm going to go ahead and take Duke -4 at home.
Yeah, I'm on Virginia plus the 5.5. I mean, Noah, I'm with you. I don't think they're nearly as good as everyone's giving them credit for, but I haven't been seeing it with this Duke team. And I think that, like I said, the ball's been bouncing their way. I think it's going to continue to bounce their way. I think they're going to keep the ACC somewhat alive going into college football playoffs. But give me Virginia plus the 5.5 on the road. Thank you very much. Keeping it moving, Noah. We've got NC State, Miami, 14.5 point, 16.5 point. Now, Jesus Christ, that line jumped. 16.5 point favorites at home here. 55.5 is the total here, Noah. I mean, that's high. That's a big spread. I was feeling a little bit better at 14.5 because then I can rationalize buying it down a point to 13.5, and then I'm chilling. But 16.5 is very aggressive. We've got 62% of the bet, 62% of the money coming in on NC State. Line opened up at 14.5, moving to 16.5. Reverse line movement, Noah. You gotta love to see that. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think Miami still is going to be the ACC champion. I have not wavered off of that one, even though they, have 2 conference losses now. There are a good number of 1-loss teams ahead of them. But here's the thing. The ACC is going to tear itself up into flames, and Miami's, if they're playing in that conference championship game, they're still going to win it. Miami wins the ACC. They're definitely in with probably the 11 seed. Anybody else at this point, they might be the 12 seed. They might not be in at all. Depends on how things shake up here. That being said, this spread is way too fucking high. NC State, not that good, but somehow still dangerous in conference play in the ACC. Feels like the Wolfpack smells some blood in the water, and they're coming after it. And they've done it a few times, gotten close a few times this year. I think NC State's going to make this one too close for comfort. That being said, Miami playing at home, I do think they win the game. I'm not by any means taking an upset pick, a money line on NC State. But yeah, give me the Wolfpack to cover this absurdly large spread.
Yeah, I was liking it a lot more at 14.5. Like I said, Noah. Here's my thing with Miami, though. Miami beats down the bad teams, and I think NC State truly is a bad team. And
It depends on what Carson Beck does. He throws 0 interceptions. They're going to win this game by 20, 30 points.
Yeah.
He goes out and has one of his beautiful Carson Beck 4 interception games, which he's done twice this year. They're going to lose. If he throws 4 picks, they're going to lose. It's as simple as that. And he's done that in 2 different games this year. He's thrown 4 interceptions.
True.
Pass the blame on in both of those. Crazy. But if he throws 2 or 3 interceptions, man, this could be a real tight game.
Give me Miami minus the 16.5. Thank you very much. I don't think Carson Beck's going to have a third game where he's throwing 4 interceptions. Noah, do I see one in his future this weekend? Yeah, absolutely. It's not the Carson Beck experience if we don't.
You underestimate his ability to be an absolute fucking bonehead.
No, Noah, no. I understand the kind of bonehead that Carson Beck is, and I just don't see it this week. I do not see it in his cards to throw 4 interceptions. 1, sure, maybe pushing 2 off the tip, but I like Miami minus the 16.5 this week. Think they take care of business, stay alive in the very competitive ACC. The funny thing is, sorry, go ahead.
You never know what can happen when the coach is calling predictable plays and the receivers aren't running the right routes.
It's. Miami's wild, dude. Miami's wild.
So hopefully the coach is not calling predictable plays and the receivers run the right routes, because then he's going to throw for 5 touchdowns and no interceptions. But, if everybody else is fucking up around him, then he's going to throw a bunch of picks and they're not his fault.
Nope. He is very good at passing the blame. He's going to do great in corporate America. Keeping it moving there. Iowa, USC. They got funny numbers in front of their name, Noah. USC 6.5 point favorites here. 49.5 is the total here.
This is a weird one, man.
It's really weird. It's weird. I mean, we've got the public. It loves USC this weekend, though. 67% of them at 77% of the money coming in on that spread, and then every dollar, every bet. Oh no, excuse me. 90% of the bet, 62% of the money coming in on USC money line. So you have some big money coming in on Iowa plus that 215, Noah.
Huh.
What do you do here?
Fucking weird one at a touchdown spread. I hate it at that. I will have a chance to win this one. I mean, USC's got a really nice offense. But that Iowa defense, man, they if Kirk Ferentz had a fucking spine with his play calling and his scheming, they should have probably won with the exact score that I believe it was Herb Street said on game day, 16-15. But Kirk Ferentz doesn't have a spine and decided to play a little prevent with. I don't even understand. Your defense is playing so goddamn well all game, and then you're just going to drop into some prevent and basically let Oregon move the ball into field goal range.
Yeah.
That was stupid as fuck. I hate that. I don't know why you change up your defensive game plan.
That's just what
I know they're out of timeouts and have 40 seconds on the clock, but I don't know why it makes no sense to me. We see it at both the college and the pro level. If your defense is playing that well, just fucking stay with what's been working. I mean, god damn, it's not that hard. Iowa should have won that game by 1. They didn't. Now Oregon's somehow going to make it into the playoffs, even though they're, in my opinion, complete frauds this year.
I'm kind of with you there.
I hate Iowa, but I was hoping they'd beat Oregon just to expose the fact that Oregon are frauds. I still think if Oregon loses one more game, which they very well could, I don't think they're in at 10-2. They play USC, they play Washington still this year, so both of those could be potential losses. Although Washington, I don't have any faith in anymore after taking a loss to fucking Wisconsin.
No. Can't lose.
Maybe they got a boost from announcing that Fickle's coming back. So then the team was like, "Oh hell yeah, let's go."
Hell yeah, Fickle.
Anyways. Yeah, USC's been playing really well. They're not the best team in the world, but that's kind of how I feel about this Iowa team. They're playing at USC. I think if this game was played at Iowa, I'd be in shitty weather like it was last week. I'd be much more keen on taking Iowa. Again, don't love that this is a touchdown spread because I think Iowa's going to keep this one tight like they always do. I just don't know if Iowa's offense really has enough to like get it done. I think their defense keeps it low scoring. I'm gonna take USC minus 6.5. I don't love it. I wish I was getting this at 2.5 or 3.5. But I also don't feel confident enough in Iowa to take them to keep it within a touchdown. Like I could see this being a 20-11 type of game, 20-9. Iowa gets 3 field goals and USC wins by 11 points, but it's pretty low scoring. What's the over under at?
Total's at 49.5.
Oh, hell yeah, give me the under. I was going to say anything that starts with a 4, I'm taking the under on this game. But yeah, 49.5, absolute banger of an under here. I know USC scores a lot of points, but this is Iowa's defense you're going up against.
Yeah, exactly. This is Iowa's defense. And here's my biggest thing with USC, Noah, and I think I've finally figured it out. I don't believe in Lincoln Riley. I don't believe in him really as a play caller anymore, as a coach. I know USC's having a good season. Their quarterback, Mayava, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he's having a hell of a season and looks good. But at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, if I need a play call called, the last person I want calling it is Lincoln Riley. Give me Iowa on this one, plus the 6.5. Sprinkle that money line. I think we're going to start to see the wheels come off on USC, and I think Iowa is just the overall better team in all 3 stages at this game. So give me Iowa plus the 6.5 on that money line too. Let's ride, baby. Anyway, can you hear me still, Noah? Oh, there you go. Okay, you're back. What's good? Let's move it. Keep it moving, Noah. We've got Texas State, Southern Miss, and Noah dropped off. That is unfortunate. I'm sure he will reconnect as soon as possible. Southern Miss is 3.5-point favorites here. 66.5 is the total. 73% of the bet, 75% of the money coming in on Texas State, plus the 4.5. But all of the money, all the bets coming in on Southern Miss on the money line. Noah, I mean, this is a classic U game to throw on here. Texas State has been they're good, but they've just lost some heartbreakers, lost a lot of really close ones, and Southern Miss has just won those games. Great wins, lots of points. Love to see it. Where are you on it? Where are you at on this one?
Yeah, I didn't hear any of shit internet cut out. I didn't hear any of what you said with Iowa USC. I won't make you repeat it. I'm sure it was good stuff. I did hear in there that you're on Iowa on the spread.
Spread and money line. Full unit each.
That's about all I caught. I'll
That's the important part, Noah. Don't you worry. That's the important part.
Yeah, no, this Texas State Southern Miss game, this is on here for mainly one reason is I think this line is stupid as fuck, and I am putting a dinosaur play on Southern Miss. They are undefeated in the Sun Belt. They pose a threat to James Madison here in the Sun Belt, and Texas State. Yeah, you could argue that they've been competitive and just gotten the bad luck of the draw with the way that a number of their games have gone. But at the end of the day, they haven't won them. And this line, in my opinion, should be closer to the 8 to 10 range. It's sitting at 4 or even under 4, depending on what book. All over Southern Miss at home, by the way, no brainer. They're going to go to 6-0 in Sun Belt play here.
Yeah, 6-0 in Sun Belt play. Southern Miss all day long. Let's keep it going, Noah. We got another nice one here. I like this game a lot.
Oh,
Memphis.
I was going to say, by the way, another team where if the ACC continues to just fall into shambles and beat itself up, if Southern Miss wins the rest of their games, they're 10-2 going into a Sun Belt championship game against an 11-1 JMU, and then they beat them to get to 11-2. I think this is a team that nobody's speaking anything about in a potential playoff conversation. People love their hypotheticals, their potentials. Nobody's really talking about Southern Miss, but watch out. They're a good-ass team, and they're not getting any of the recognition they deserve.
I like it, Noah. I like it. Go Southern Miss. Excuse me. Let's move on to the American, Noahs. We've got Memphis and East Carolina. ECU, 2.5-point favorites here at home. 58.5 is the total. We've got 53% of the bets, 86% of the money coming in on ECU. Line opened up ECU plus the 1.5, moving up to the -3. So you do have healthy line movement there. 2.5, 3, depending on the book, of course. I would like to start with one thing here, Noah. Go ahead. That total is way too low. Give me the over 58.5. There's going to be a lot of scoring in this one. And then, what are you thinking on this one, bud?
Well, I know the spread ain't huge, but I gotta have some dog of the week.
Wow, really?
My dog of the week. Yeah, and I know, you got quarterback injuries, you got other things that play with Memphis. People have lost a lot of faith in Memphis. They had their 1.5 weeks in the limelight, and then everybody's just lost complete faith in them. They're still alive. Will they win the American? Probably not at this point, but they're a really good team. They're still alive. ECU definitely still alive in this race for the American Athletic Conference. Tough place to play at ECU. ECU is a good team, but I think Memphis is going to go in there and get the job done, take care of business, win this game, and then Memphis is going to have their name back in the conversation a little bit. Still not going to be headlining that conversation, but they're going to get their name back into that conversation a little bit when we were talking about the American Conference and going down the stretch here. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a tough fought battle, but I do like Memphis. They are my dog of the week.
Rough. I'm not there, dude. Give me ECU minus that 2.5. 2 of their 3 losses this year. I mean, NC State, BYU. I like this team a lot. I think they're going to be able to get it done here against Memphis at home, especially. Give me ECU and the over. Thank you very much. Side and the total, please, and thank you. Keeping it moving, Noah. Is this our first SEC game of the day? No, second SEC game of the day. I'm proud of us. No, I'm proud of you, Noah. I like that. And it's a good SEC game. Texas, Georgia, 5.5-point favorites at home. 48.5 is the total. Who was it today that signed on as an assistant? Who's like a recruiting specialist? And they signed. Oh, Billy Napier did. Billy Napier is now what is it? Recruiting specialist at the University of Georgia. So shout out to Billy Napier.
Interesting.
Anyway. You got 56. Sorry,
I was gonna say, kind of feels like. I mean, I know he got fired, but it feels like. Remember when what was it, Gus Malzahn, when he just decided he was gonna leave UCF to just be the offensive coordinator at Florida State?
Yep.
He's like, yeah, peace out. I'm head coach of a Big 12 school. He's like, I'm just gonna go be
coordinator
at Florida State.
I'm going to go OC. Well, we'll see how long Billy Napier lasts in this role, Noah. You got 56% of the bets, 56% of the money coming in on Texas here, plus the 6, 5.5, depending on the book you are looking at. All right. I'm going to say a very unpopular opinion, Noah. And I'm going to say it because I got to go ahead and start mentally preparing myself for him to be the next quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think Arch is that bad.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Gunnar Stockton.
No. He gets smoked, blown up his ass enough. I want to talk about a guy where, it's been the sexy thing to talk about how much Arch sucks. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Is not having probably the college start that he thought he was going to have. However, the kid's not playing that bad, and I think Texas overall is just a downgrade from what it was last year. I'll be interested to see what this team comes back as next year, if Sark stays, if Arch stays, et cetera, et cetera.
I think there's a reason when everybody was asking last year, who's going to be the starting quarterback? There was not really a shred of time where it was ever Arch Manning. I mean, I know Quinn Ewers was injured for like a game and a half, and Arch got in there and played pretty well. But then as soon as Quinn Ewers was ready to go, he was back in there.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, and that's because Sark and that Texas staff knew that Quinn Ewers was a better quarterback. Now, Arch Manning was a sophomore.
He was making a good point there. You're back.
You got me?
You said sophomore and then you cut out.
Oh, I said Arch was a sophomore. Now he's a junior. He's got an extra year. But you even look at this year's iteration of Arch Manning. Quinn Ewers last year was better. And Quinn Ewers went in what round of the draft?
Oh, God. It was like, what, the 6th, 7th?
I was going to say, I think he was a day 3 pick. Now,
7th rounder.
7th rounder, right. And he looked better than Arch. So if Arch enters the draft this year, he's going to get drafted way higher than Quinn Ewers did. And I think that's going to be a mistake because Quinn Ewers was playing better ball than Arch is playing.
Yeah.
But Arch has that funny last name Manning, which carries a lot of weight. I don't think he's got himself positioned as a first round pick though right now. Maybe not even a second round, but I don't think he falls past the 3rd.
Not a Shedeur situation, no.
No, I honestly think late 2nd, early 3rd is where Arch, unless something vastly improves with his game this year, and he might decide he's coming back to Texas next year because he's going to be realistic. He's going to know that even with that Manning name, it's like, oh, I'm at best a mid to late 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
We might see him come back one more. He's got another year of eligibility too. He redshirted, so he could come back for 2 more years at Texas. Money's obviously not an issue for him. He's getting paid handsomely at Texas. He's got that family money with the Manning, so he doesn't need to rush anything. He can do whatever he needs to.
Develop while you can.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, you look at this year, he's just not as good as Ewers. You lost some talented wide receivers. Haven't quite replaced them to the same degree. Now, Texas is finding their footing and playing a little bit better, but this isn't the same Texas team as it was last year. And you look at what happened last year, they barely beat ASU in the first round and then kind of got their asses handed to them by Ohio State. Granted, they kind of played Ohio State closer than anybody else did that playoff. Ohio State was just blowing through fucking everybody. But, I don't know. And then on the flip side, you got Georgia, who has just been eking out just gross win after gross win. And it doesn't instill a lot of confidence other than the fact that Kirby Smart and this team are just winning. But they're not winning pretty.
No.
It's just ugly win after ugly win after ugly win has been the story of the season for Georgia. That being said, I expect them to continue the trend, and I think we see another ugly win here in Athens where they are not once going to put this Texas team away. They're not going to look super dominant over them. They're going to come out of this with like a 1-score win. 6 points. I'm on the fence with it at 5.5, 6. I don't know. I hate where this line is at. I'm going to take Georgia. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt being at home, but I do fully expect we're just going to see another ugly win out of Georgia. Pretty much closes the door on Texas's playoff chances unless they can.
They would.
Are they home against A&M?
Ooh, A&M. Give me a second. They are home against A&M. This is their last road game of the season. They're home against Arkansas, home against A&M.
Yeah, and they'll beat Arkansas, no problem. I'm not worried about Texas beating Arkansas at home. A&M comes to town. It's going to be interesting because if Texas loses this one to Georgia but then beats A&M, I'd say it's 50-50, maybe 40-60 that they get in. It helps with the brand name helps a lot. But they lose this one and lose to A&M, they're 100% out. They win this one and lose to A&M, I think they're more 60-70 in, 30-40 out versus if they win this one and lose to A&M. But we'll see. First step is this game ahead. Again, I do think Georgia's going to take care of business, and Texas is going to move from the inside looking out to the outside looking in.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Georgia, I do think Georgia's going to end up making the playoff. They're the second best team in the SEC right now. That's no question about it. Granted, the SEC is mid this year. Let's not argue with that.
I would say third or fourth best personally, because I think I think A&M, Alabama right now are your clear-cut 1-2.
I think they're I think Georgia's better than Alabama.
That's tough. I was on there even after they lost to Alabama earlier this year. But you compare the body of work since they've played, and Alabama's been winning against ranked teams, and Georgia's been winning, but not pretty against unranked SEC teams. And so I got to give the nod to Bama over Georgia at this point.
This sucks, dude. What the? These multi-views now are just ass. I hate this. Anyway, I get it. I understand. I don't know. I have a lot more faith in Georgia right now than I do Bama, and I know that's hard. That's hard to say, but that's just where I'm at with them. Keeping it moving, Noah. Next game on the slate, we've got Kennesaw State going up against Jacksonville State. Kennesaw State 3.5-point favorites here on the road. 54.5 is the total. I mean, we were just talking about how good Kennesaw State is.
I was going to say, is this one of those games you were questioning that I put on the slate, AJ? Because we got 2 5-0 Conference USA
I
teams
know.
going up against each other. This game,
I get it. I get it, Noah. But you usually when you put in a USA game, an American game, or something like that, it requires a little bit more brain power than this one did. Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, as much as certain people might not want to admit it, and they're probably right, but there is a shred of chance that they're wrong. This game could have some weird outside playoff implications.
Oh, absolutely.
Weird outside playoff implications. Like I said, if the American and Sun Belt completely eat each other up, eat themselves up, go up in flames. I don't think Jacksonville State's got the resume to get it done if they end up as the Conference USA champions. But Kennesaw, you start looking at them and you're like, okay, maybe. Crazy thing about Kennesaw, too. I believe just a couple of years ago they moved up to D1.
Yep.
Their coach there goes winless first season. I remember him talking about how much of a battle it was trying to recruit, trying to convince these kids to see the future vision. And this was only 2 or 3 years ago. And he's talking about, oh my God, having to tell these recruits, just stick with it. There's a vision. We're going to get it going. A year and a half into being the head coach, finally gets their first win. Finally get their first win at the D1 level. Fast forward 2 years, and here we're sitting at a 5-0 in conference play, Kennesaw State. They've built up a nice little program here, man, and it's no secret where I'm going on this one. I'm all over the Owls. I love it. Give me Kennesaw State. I do think this will be a fun game, a tough one. Would have been really fun to have this one on a Thursday, Friday night, just to keep it a little secluded and actually get some eyes on it.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, I think you're playing at the same time as Texas, Georgia, and some of these other games. Not a lot of people probably going to be watching or paying attention to this game, but that's how it goes in Conference USA. If you're not playing on Tuesday, Wednesday night, nobody's really paying attention. But I got to say, I think Kennesaw goes on the road in their toughest conference game of the season and takes sole possession of first place here in the Conference USA.
Yeah, give me Kennesaw State minus a 3.5. I think Jacksonville State's had a nice run.
They're a good team.
They're a good team. They're a good team. But yeah, thanks for playing. Thanks for coming. Keeping it moving, Noah. Last game on the college slate. Let's go back to Provo. Why don't we, Noah? We like going to Provo because we've got the Horned Frogs, TCU, going up against BYU. BYU 4.5-point favorites at home. 52.5 is the total. And you'll never guess who the money's on, Noah. 52% of the bet, 74% of the money.
I would hope on BYU.
That'd all be on TCU.
That's wild behavior to me.
That is wild behavior to me. I mean, maybe people are licking them hypnotoads a little too much down there in Texas. Maybe in Vegas too. Who knows? But
not legal in Texas.
Huh?
It's not in Utah either. But
well, Noah, these prediction markets are coming out now, and so sports betting's legal everywhere because fuck laws, right? Anyway, we had to wait for how long for legalized sports betting and not betting offshore and all that bullshit? You got to be kidding me. And now these prediction markets and everyone can bet on shit. It pisses me off. Anyway.
I think it's so funny that they're just like, oh, if we just call it something different.
It's so stupid, dude. Like, and you know, and FanDuel and DraftKings are like completely doing a 180. They're going to put out separate apps and stuff, but they pulled their licenses from and applications from Vegas. Like, they don't even want to do business in there anymore because they're going to get into these prediction markets. And I've messed around with Kalshi and what's the other one, Polymarket. Like, I've messed around with them in their sports markets and stuff. And again, just maybe I'm old school. I like traditional lines. I like traditional props. Like, give me minus 110. Don't give me this 82% bullshit. Like, don't make the, like, I don't want to sound out gatekeeping, but don't make it easier than it already is. I guess I'm trying to say.
Is that how they're getting around it?
Oh yeah. They're not. They trade like you trade them. You trade them like stocks. They're contracts. They're not bets. You know, you are buying stock in the probability of a team winning.
So
it's much more like the European markets, but even the European markets treat it more like gambling than they do stock trading. And I mean, yes, that's why they call them traders, like in the sports books and stuff. But again, it's like I think it's bad for. I think it's bad. I think it.
So it's essentially like making a bet, and then you can just cash out at any point.
Yeah.
And it just live fluctuates what your cash out is.
Yeah, I don't get it.
All right, whatever. Anyways, big reason I put this one on slate, AJ. What the fuck is this line? I mean, I know TCU's not bad,
no,
but this game's in
Provo.
And I know BYU just got their asses handed to them at Texas Tech, but guess what? Everybody gets their asses handed to them at Texas Tech. It's just like
it's what happens.
It's just like everybody gets their asses handed to them in Salt Lake City. And Utah, by the way, not getting enough respect. I got them in number 11 in my rankings this week. I know we didn't get a chance to go through that. College Football Playoff Committee actually giving Utah a lot more respect than the AP ever was. Despite having 2 losses, guess what? Their 2 losses are Texas Tech and BYU. I think that's forgivable. I think 4.5 at this is so disrespectful to BYU.
Yeah.
And I know TCU is a decent team, but I think BYU goes in here and wins by probably 2 touchdowns, if I'm being honest.
I really couldn't agree more with you here, Noah. They go in, they go home, they take care of business in their house. That's kind of how BYU plays, and I love it.
Also, respect to the playoff committee for not dropping BYU egregiously. I believe they dropped to what, 12 or 13? I think 12. They were the second team out after Oklahoma.
Yep.
Actually, that might have been 13 because they got USF and Miami in there, and drop them into third. No, fuck, I'm messing with myself. I think they had them at 11 overall. Oklahoma at 10, with those spots going to. Okay, so that's what it is.
Oklahoma's at 11, BYU's at 12, Texas is at 10, Notre Dame's at 9. You talking about last week?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But yeah, shout out to the playoff committee for actually having a head on their shoulders a little bit and not punishing BYU for losing at Texas Tech, who's obviously a really fucking good team. I moved them back up into my top 4, leapfrogging Alabama up to number 4, and I still got BYU at 10. But I just can't believe this line's so thin.
Yeah, it's too thin. I can't get why all the money's coming in on TCU at all. Give me BYU literally minus whatever at this point. Probably going to take an alt line too, just for shits and giggles. But that's what we're going to do there. You got anything else on college ball, Noah?
I just wanted to say, I didn't put it on the slate, but Friday night game, Minnesota at Oregon. You see the spread on that one?
No, what's that?
I believe 28.5 is what I saw.
Who's favored?
Who do you think? And I'm not saying Oregon shouldn't be favored in that. They definitely should.
No.
But 28.5?
Seeing it 25.5 now.
Like, okay, this morning I saw it at 28.5.
Yeah,
And
no, it's just coming down. I mean, like you said.
I'm like scratching my head here. I'm like, yeah, Oregon's the better team. They're playing at home, but after what we've seen from Oregon the last couple of weeks, I mean, they only beat Wisconsin by 14
Yeah.
at home. That one's an interesting one because I think Minnesota might keep Oregon to close to 28 points on their own if the Gophers can go in and score just a little bit. It's just a little baffling, but I just wanted to bring that up. Didn't put it on our slate, but I got to imagine if you're catching that still at 28.5 at any book, I think Minnesota covers 4 touchdowns just fine.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Sweet, dude. Well, that's all I got on college ball too. Let's go ahead. You down to take a little break and then we'll dive into the NFL?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Before we get into the whole slate and we take a break, do just want to take a moment. Shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, over on YouTube and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. With that, I'm the Brofect one AJ. That's the Money Train Noah. We'll be right back.
Yep.
3, 2. And we are back. What's up, D-Gens? Perfect One AJ here with the Money Train. Noah, excuse me, we are getting ready. We are ready now to break down the entire NFL Week 11 slate. Noah, you ready to start it off?
Yes, sir.
Let's get into it, starting with Thursday Night Football. Jets, Patriots. Patriots, 12.5-point favorite, 13.5-point now going into this one. 42.5 is the total. Noah, 61% of the bet, 66% of the money coming in on the Patriots here. What do you got on this?
God, I don't love where the spread's at. Jets, after selling off at the trade deadline, get a win over the Browns last week. That's
a
two
win.
wins in a row. 2 wins in a row for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Divisional matchup. These teams hate each other. Patriots will win this. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna. Oh, man, I don't know why, but I'm taking the Jets to cover on this one. I just feel like they're going to keep this one close enough that they cover the spread, and that's all they can hang their hats on. But
I get it, and it does feel like one of those games, especially where, I mean, the spread opened up at 5.5, and it's moving up like this. It's absolutely insane. But this does kind of feel like a Mike Vrabel, let's put foot on throat situation here and not take the foot off the gas. We'll be live streaming this one tomorrow, so come drop by for Thursday Night Football. Pats minus 12.5. Excited for the same game parlay I'm putting together tomorrow. Might be looking at someone getting 2+ touchdowns, Noah. Might be looking at it, but we'll have to wait and see. Tune in tomorrow night for Thursday Night Football. Let's get moving to the Sunday slate, Noah, as we're going back. We're going back across the pond, but this time to Madrid as the Commanders play the Dolphins. Dolphins, 2.5-point favorites here, 47.5 is the total here. News coming out of the Commanders, Jaden Daniels not making the plane ride over in Madrid. Not really surprising there with the whole dislocated elbow situation. Marcus Mariota going to be getting the start here. Dude, I don't know. This team has struggled without him. They've struggled without their weapons. They've struggled. Just been a bad season for the Washington Commanders, not being able to really get into a groove. And the Dolphins are going to be riding high. I mean, they went in. They beat the Buffalo Bills. They beat the Buffalo Bills last week, and they're not going to let you forget about it until this game. I'm not a big fan of this one, but I will be taking the Miami Dolphins minus the 2.5 here. Crazy things do happen overseas. Marcus Mariota could come in and light up that defense. I am going to be on the over 47.5 in this one as well. I do think we're going to see a lot of points, but at the end of the day, give me Tua and Jalen Waddle. And you know what? Give me Devon Achane to maybe go for 2+2 early. But what do you got on this one?
Yeah, this is going to be an ugly one. This is a stinker. I do feel like the over feels pretty comfortable. And maybe that's a trap. I don't know.
Big trap, but maybe.
Yeah, Washington's been playing really bad, and Miami's only been playing kind of bad. So I'm with you there. I'll take the Fins on a less than a field goal.
Yeah, I like that it's less than a field goal, too. Hope that doesn't creep up, but we'll have to wait and see. Noah, next game on the slate, we've got Panthers, Falcons. Falcons, 3.5-point favorites at home. 41.5 is the total. You go first on this one, Noah. Because I think you're going to echo a lot of what I'm going to say.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay. So, obviously, first time these two teams played in Carolina, 30-0. Atlanta couldn't get anything going. Panthers were just clicking on all cylinders. This is like, I've talked about, these two teams are the two most Jekyll and Hyde teams in the league, so you really don't know what you're getting from either team. I don't know what we're going to get from either team here. We could see another 30-0 blowout for the Panthers. We could see it go the opposite direction. The Falcons win 30-0. I'm going to say the Falcons even up the season series here at home, take care of business in this one, cover the 3.5.
58% of the bets, 55% of the money coming in on Falcons minus that 3.5, Noah. And besides that, I'm so done with the Falcons, dude. Like I really am. I mean, I'm not. I mean, this team is a like a Maserati or just any English sports car. It runs great for 2 weeks and then it's in the shop for a month, and then it runs great again for a week or two, and then it's back in the shop. And I think this team is going to continue to be like that. I don't know if it's Penix's fault. I don't think he's developing as they want him to, if we're going to be completely honest. I like how the Panthers play, though. I like Bryce Young. I like T-Mac. I like what Dowdle's been doing. Give me Carolina plus the 3.5. Sprinkle that money line as well.
It really doesn't help when you throw, what was it, 8 or 9 targets for Darnell Mooney, and he had 1 catch and 3 drops last week.
Dude, again, like I said, we're talking about Jacqueline Hyde. Like, this is the Jacqueline Hyde team. Is Penix going to go out there and play like Michael Vick, or is he going to go out and shit the bed? Is the receivers going to catch balls, or are they going to have bricks for hands? Like, what are we going to get this week? And I feel like with the Falcons, though, it's more inexcusable with how much experience and talent they have around him. And with the Panthers, for me, it's just more, it's a young team in a rebuild. They don't know what they don't know, and sometimes it's very evident they don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
God,
this one's.
I don't know. They just frustrate me. The Falcons frustrate me. I love Bijan. I love Drake London. I love a lot of the guys on the team. They're great players. And then they just hit speed bump after speed bump. And it's not even injuries half the time. It's just their own doing. It's frustrating as hell. Maybe I'm just projecting on the Cardinals, and I wish I had that issue of having all that great. We'll get to the Cardinals. We're so fucked this week. Anyway. Yeah, Panthers plus 3.5. Next game on the slate. Noah. Buccaneers, Bills. Right? Yep.
Yeah.
Buccaneers, Bills. Bills 5.5 point favorites at home. 48.5 is the total on this one. 59% of the bets, 52% of the money coming in on the Buccaneers, plus that 5.5. Everyone and their mom betting on the Bills to win this game outright. And you know me. I love the Buccaneers. Love Baker Mayfield. Love what this team can do. But is Bucky all the way back? Is Chris Godwin going to play? There's just so many injuries and so many question marks when it comes to it. And that is part of our issue when we, do this show so far in advance. But the Bills also just got embarrassed last week against the Dolphins. I think this is a big Bills statement game. Hey, last week was just a speed bump. We're all the way back. Give me the Bills minus the 5.5. I like that it's less than a touchdown. I think they win this one by 2 at least. Maybe one in a field goal, but.
Yeah, I think the Bills have some issues that aren't really getting talked about very much, and those have kind of been prevalent despite the hot start to the season. Tampa's good, but yeah, they're really injured on the offensive side of the ball. Yep, they still seem to be doing okay. Baker's playing well. I got no problem taking the 5.5 on Tampa.
I respect it. I like it.
In a game that very well could come down to the last possession.
And it probably will, which is the Bills' MO. Anyway. Keeping it moving, Noah. Texans, Titans. Texans, 6.5 point favorites on the road here. 37.5 is the total. What are you thinking on this one? 58% of the bets, 47% of the money coming in on the Texans.
Right, man, the Texans look good for like a week or two, and then they don't look good, and then they look good, and then they don't look good. I'm still struggling with what the identity of this team is. I will say with Tennessee, though, they're not very good. And
to quote their quarterback, we ass.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Houston to cover a touchdown here, just because I do think this is a game maybe Houston actually has things clicking, looks all right, and they'll take care of business.
Yeah, and I mean Davy Mills looked good last week. I don't know if he can do it again. I think, I've seen too much of Davy Mills and just watched his, 2 signed cards that I have of him that I pulled from PAX just, go down to nothing. I don't think he can do it again. I think CJ Stroud being out is going to be really effective this next week. I think Titans get one more win this season, and I do think it's against a struggling Texans team. Give me the Titans plus the 6.5. Sprinkle that money line. Let's have some fun this weekend, Noah. Let's have some fun this weekend. Bears, Vikings. Vikings, 3.5-point favorites. 48.5 is the total. Did you hear about this whole alter ego thing for JJ McCarthy?
I think unless you're off of the internet completely, you have.
I just want to make sure. Dumb as shit. Like, come on, dude. Come on. Like, it's got to get something a little bit better than that, right?
Yeah,
9.
He's a fucking cornball.
9. Come on. Now I get into my alter ego. What's that alter ego? 9. Ooh, scary. Anyway, unreal. Yeah. Vikings favored here. 60% of the bet, 74% of the money coming in on the Bears. But all of the money, 69% of the bets, 58% of the money coming in on the Vikings here, Noah. Please go first on this.
I'm just going to start off by saying this may be a hot take, but the entire NFC North is mid as fuck.
Oh, it's really.
And I'm saying that as a Packers fan. I know Lions fans are going to be the most butthurt group about me saying that because they think they got a Super Bowl contending team. No, this entire division's fucking mid right now, and I don't know who's going to pull away. I'm going to take the Vikings at home minus the 3 in this one. I just you look at the teams the Bears have beat, and it's hot garbage. You look at the teams the Vikings have beat, it's not much better, but at least they have a nice win or two in there. I think the Vikings take care of business here, win their second game against the Bears this season, and the Bears are sitting at 6-3, but they're 0-3 in the division. Going to move to 0-4. It's not pretty. I think Vikings are 2-0 in the division.
1-3.
What?
Nope. I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong thing. 2 seconds, bud. What?
I think the Lions are 1-2 in division play. Packers are 1-0 right now, and then I want to say the Vikings are 2-0.
You know, this is ridiculous.
About to move to 3-0. Doesn't matter anyways. The Bears have had a fun week with seeing their logo and their name in the playoff projection, and enjoy it while it lasts.
Man, Bears play well against bad teams. That's step one. So I do want to commend the Bears. We have officially completed, I think, step 1 of a rebuild where you beat bad teams. So I do want to commend the Bears for that. This is the closest we've been in a rebuild so far. Like, this is the furthest we've gotten, Noah. So I think we really need to commend the Bears front office and coaching staff that we've gotten this far into a rebuild. God, give me the Bears plus the 3.5. It's gross. It's disgusting. I know. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think Caleb Williams is all that. I really don't think this team is as good as everyone thinks they are. But that defense, though, I think is going to get in J.J. McCarthy's head. I think they even it out. Give me the Bears plus 3.5. I'm not a fan of it, but it makes sense to me, Noah. Just makes sense to me. All right. Well, let's move on to the next game on our slate. Noah, Packers, Giants. Packers coming in 7.5-point favorites here. 43.5 is the total. Where are they? Packers, 7.5. 56% of the bets, 59% of the money coming in on the Pack. And all the bets on the money line. Coming out of the Giants camp, Mike Kafka, the interim head coach after the Dable firing. Dable wearing a Penn State hoodie. Does that mean anything, or is he just does his son go there? Both things can be true. Just want to throw that out there.
Don't know.
Anyway. But Jameis Winston will be your starting quarterback going in against the Giants. Jackson Dart out with a concussion. Jameis Winston with yet another incredible press conference where he starts singing Hamilton. I'm ready for Jameis Winston to just throw this ball in the air as far as possible many times to absolutely nobody. What do you got on this one, bud?
Yeah, no, I think Packers defense might do the one thing that they've been struggling to do this year, which is force turnovers. Defense has been phenomenal at keeping points off the board and making stops, but not turning the ball over, not giving the offensive short fields. Obviously, the offense has had problems. And goddamn it, Matt LaFleur, if you run another goddamn inside zone every on a 3rd and 2, LaFleur is keeping play calling duties for now.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, man. LaFleur was such a good offensive-minded coach for his entire time in Green Bay, and then this year he just decided he wanted to forget how to call an effective offense. I don't understand it.
Is Jordan Love mid? Do you want to entertain that conversation that was going around Packers Twitter?
I mean, Jordan Love's fine, man. I thought it was funny last week with down at the end of the fourth quarter. All of these talking heads were talking about, oh, Jordan Love should have thrown a better ball over to the sideline instead of down the field. He had the whole pocket collapsing on him and he just had to huck something up. Yeah. And none of them were talking about the fact that Christian Watson was looking over the wrong shoulder, trying to readjust, and then basically ended up in a position where he was playing defense.
No,
I think it was way more on Watson than it was on Love.
I really don't blame Love for anything that happened in that little scenario there. I mean, McManus went out there. It wasn't, it's a hard field goal with the way the wind was blowing, and then having to come out there with such little time. I mean,
that's a whole nother story because McManus doesn't even have 65 yards in his repertoire. And so the fact that we were even trotting McManus out there for a 65-yarder, I was like, what the fuck is even going on here? I was like, he doesn't even have that range. So I don't know what the fuck was going on there. Play calling been questionable this year. It's been questionable at best. So I hope LaFleur figures his shit out. However, with Jameis Winston playing quarterback, with this Giants team, no Scattaboo, no Malik Neighbors, I'm going to take Green Bay to cover a touchdown. I don't feel ultimately confident about it, but I do think this one's going to be pretty low scoring. I would take under 43.5 in this as well.
I was throwing around the idea, maybe they get an interim head coach boost here with Mike Kafka taking over and the Dable firing, but then
feels like a good 140-yard 2-touchdown game for Josh Jacobs coming up.
It does, doesn't it? It does, but it also feels like, maybe a 242 2-touchdown, 2-interception game for Jameis Winston. And if, I was kind of on the fence about the interim head coach boost, but now we're getting a Jameis Winston boost coming for the New York Giants. How are those boys not going to be up and playing for him? That's for damn sure.
What boys? Who?
They still have a team. They still are a football team, technically. No, they have fielded a roster. So until they stop fielding a roster, they're still going to have guys that want to play, get some good film on tape. Give me the Giants plus the 7.5. I do think the Packers win this game. I think the Giants are going to be able to keep this one a little bit closer than everyone's expecting. Yeah, I like Jameis in this one. Give me the Giants plus the 7.5. I like it. Keeping it moving. Noah. Bengals. What?
Oh, I was also going to say, yeah, hopefully the Packers can avoid having 3 or 4 illegal formation calls against them.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
Oh my God. I can't believe they had 6 offensive drives where they passed midfield and got a total of 7 points off of it. 6 drives where they made it into Eagles territory and got 7 total points.
Red zone wasn't good. Red zone was not good.
They get over the 50 and then couldn't get over the 40.
Anyway, keeping it moving, Noah. Let's go to the Unk Bowl 2 as the Bengals take on the Steelers. Steelers 5.5-point favorites at home. 48.5 is the total in this one. 62% of the bets, 50% of the money coming in on the Bengals in this one. Everyone betting on the Steelers to win outright, though. Give me the Steelers minus the 5.5. Give me under 48.5 in this one. Don't get me wrong. Joe Flacco's going to spam Jamar Chase again. You might as well keep doing it. Hopefully the Steelers secondary can stand up a little bit at home. They've been questionable, and I hope they can figure it out. But, man, yeah, give me the Steelers minus the 5.5. I'm not a big fan of this one, I'll be honest. What you got?
I'm on the Bengals to cover, maybe even win. I think Joe Flacco is going to have a fucking heyday. And it's going to be another week of big numbers for Jamar Chase and potentially T. Higgins. Flacco's going for 300 yards and multiple touchdowns in this one. That's where I'm at with it. I think Cincinnati might win this one. I think Pittsburgh maybe squeaks out a win. I think Rodgers is also just going to have a crazy good game.
Yeah.
So, I might be taking a same game parlay with a lot of the overs on both quarterbacks and see what happens. But, I think this one's going to be a close one.
I agree.
And not in a low scoring way.
No, in a high scoring way. Fair enough. Anyway, next game on the slate, Noah, Chargers, Chargers, 2.5-point favorites on the road here. 43.5 is the total. Travis Hunter did have surgery. He will be out the rest of the season. Man, the Jaguars are just like, they're 5-4, and that just feels appropriate for them. I think this team ends up finishing around 8-7, 7-10, something like that. 8-9, excuse me. They're just average, and I do think the Chargers have been able to make it work even with their diminished running back room and Justin Herbert just being the absolute dog he is. Hoping Gadsden will be good to go, but I still think this team's going to be able to get it done. I think it's a low spread here. Give me Chargers minus the 2.5 here.
Yeah, I'm also on the Chargers for the reason of I just think they're the much better, more well-rounded team. And Jacksonville had some success early, starting 4-1. How's that gone for them since? I know they got the win last week, but Jaguars are just unimpressive to me, and I think the Chargers are going to go ahead and take care of business in this one.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Keeping it moving, Noah. Let's go to the afternoon slate, a.k.a. just the NFC West slate. Seahawks, Rams, 3.5-point favorites at home. 48.5 is the total here. Got 74% of the bets, 75% of the money coming in on the Seahawks after the absolute ass whooping they handed to the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, Noah. I was just miserable watching the end of that game. Like, can we just end the season? I was at that point. Like, can we just end the season? Like, please, can we just take the Cardinals off the schedule the rest of the year? This is miserable to watch. We'll get to the Cardinals in a moment. Anyway, where are you at on this one? Because, I mean, you're definitely dealing with the two best teams in the NFC West here in the Seahawks and the Rams. But
possibly the two best teams in the NFC, if we're being honest.
If we're going to be honest, yeah. They look really good. The public's all over the Seahawks. I mean, I know it's SoFi and it's not really a home field advantage, but with the Rams playing good, it does feel a little bit more like a home field advantage. I think the Chargers have a bigger issue than anything, but I hate the line. I'm going to buy this down to 2.5. Give me the Rams. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be an absolute brawl.
Yeah, I'm also on the Rams. They have two things that the Cardinals don't have, and that is a competent defense and a good quarterback.
What? What are those?
And
I've never heard of those.
Yeah, so the Rams will be just fine. They're playing at home. I think they take control of this game. I believe they're coming off the bye week as well. I'm liking all the factors at play here. I think the Rams take care of business, get this win at home. I'm okay laying 3 points on them.
So I will, yeah. Let's go Rams. I don't want to talk about this. Okay, fine. Here we go. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Next game on the slate. No, 49ers, Cardinals. 49ers, 2.5-point favorites here on the road. 47.5 is the total. Here's how bad the Cardinals are, Noah. Cardinals announced today that Zay Jones will be out the rest of the season with a torn Achilles. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. has appendicitis and had his appendix removed today. So he will be at least out for this week. So our remaining wide receivers, and I mean, Noah, the remaining wide receivers on our roster are Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch. Love Greg Dortch. I think he's due to return one at some point on a punt or a kick return. That's another conversation. But we don't have a tight end. We don't really have a running game. We don't really have a wide receiver room. We don't really have a defense. I mean, granted, the 49ers are as injured as all get out too. But the Cardinals will lose in the fourth quarter. Give me the 49ers minus the 2.5. This is going to be a miserable game.
Yeah, I'm on the Niners to cover this one. I mean, just if you've watched football this year, they're just going to feed McCaffrey and maybe Kittle and see what happens there. They'll put up enough points. The Cardinals don't even do. I mean, the wide receiver room, the running back room. I mean, you got Trey McBride. The quarterback room too.
Done. Trey McBride's out the rest of the season.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Because I swore he is. Am I wrong? I might be wrong, Noah. I just think everyone's injured.
Yeah, no. Trey McBride's your last.
You're right. Trey McBride. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to put that in.
Leading all tight ends, by the way, in pretty much every measurable category.
He's the best, dude. But man,
the one bright spot on the Arizona Cardinals, Trey McBride, who will probably have another phenomenal game.
Yeah.
But,
well, he's going to get all of the. Literally, I promise you, 50% of the target share is going just to McBride.
I got a feeling Cardinals keep this one competitive, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. Line is small enough that I'm okay laying 2.5 on San Francisco.
On the bright side, though, we might have a top 10 pick.
I probably at this pace, you'll be picking right around 7 or 8. So,
hey, 7 or 8, we still can't. Even when we really suck, we can't get a top 5 pick. I hate this team. Anyway, keeping it moving, Noah. Ravens, Browns, 7.5-point favorites on the road here. 39.5 is the total. Can we just get Shedeur to start already?
It's got to be close. I know
it's got to be, right?
Coming into the season, I was what did I say? Like probably about week 9 or 10 was my guess. But now week 11. After losing to the Jets, are they still announced they're starting Gabriel?
As far as I will double check, but as far as I've heard,
I got to imagine at this point 1 or 2 more bad games from Gabriel and Shedeur is going to get the nod. Now they go into this one and they're getting their asses beat and Gabriel's not playing well. I mean, it could be this game that we see Shedeur in the second half. It's got to be only a matter of time because they don't have a better option. And again, I'm not hyping up Shedeur Sanders or anything. We'll see what he does. I just,
sorry,
we're at a point where if you're the Browns, it's like you got nothing to lose. So just throw Shedeur out there and see what happens. It may not be pretty, but can't be any worse than what you're putting out on the field already. So
it really can't. It really can't.
That being said, with Lamar back and everything full force, I still think this Ravens defense has a lot of issues, but I'm gonna take them to go ahead and win this one.
Yeah. Give me the Ravens minus 7.5. It is worth noting that Lamar Jackson did not practice today due to knee soreness, but they do expect him to practice again tomorrow, being Thursday. So just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he should be playing. This division's wide open too, so they need him to be playing.
Yeah, they need him to be in tip-top shape. Keeping it moving, Noah. This one's funny to me. Chiefs, Broncos. Chiefs, 3.5-point favorites on the road. 44.5 is the total. 58% of the bet, 79% of the money coming in on the Chiefs. Line opened up at 1.5, moving up to the 3.5. Have healthy line movement there. That's funny, man. That's funny. Who you got in this one?
Oh, the Chiefs, no doubt about it. I hope Denver's enjoying their 8-2 record. I fucking blinked and all of a sudden they're 8-2, and I'm like, how the hell did that happen?
This happen?
This team's not that good. They were down 20 something to the Giants going into the fourth quarter of that game. This Denver team just does not pass the eye test whatsoever. I know the Chiefs are at 5-4, but I feel like the Chiefs are going to have no problem covering 3.5 in this one. They're going to put their stamp back on things and be like, hey, this is why we run this division. I know they're sitting in third place right now behind the Chargers and the Broncos, but goddamn, this is not the Broncos division. So I think Chiefs take care of business here.
Yeah, this does feel, and it's kind of been happening slowly the last couple of weeks, but this really feels like the week the Chiefs wake up and they're like, oh, we got to start winning or we're going to be a wild card team, and we don't want that. So we'll see what the Chiefs go ahead and do. But, yeah, I'm on the Chiefs minus that 3.5 as well, Noah. Last game in – oh, excuse me. No, we're talking Sunday Night Football. Excuse me. Lions, Eagles. Eagles, 2.5-point favorites here. 46.5 is the total. 76% of the bets, 58% of the money coming in on the Lions plus the 2.5. Interesting split on the money line here. 69% of the bet, 37% of the money coming in on the Eagles, with 31% of the bet, 63% of the money coming in on the Lions money line here, Noah. People were not impressed with how they played against the Packers, it seems like.
No. And they probably shouldn't be. I don't know. This is, again, another battle of mid. Both of these teams are mid. I don't care what their fucking records are. Both of these teams are mid as fuck. The Lions have a lot of issues that people are just willing to just gloss right over and not talk about because their offense puts up a lot of points. Well, I'm like, yeah. When you go for it 8 times on fourth down and go 7 of 8 on fourth down, like flip that script and then you're going 1 or 2 for 8 on fourth down. Then they probably lose to Washington last week. Dan Campbell's a fucking asshole. He's a reckless asshole. He always has been, and he still is. And at some point, it's going to bite him in the ass. The Eagles are a better defense than they've been going against the last however many weeks. I don't think the Eagles are particularly good. Jalen Hurts doesn't look like a quarterback who can really command a drive. And somehow Saquon's on some sort of fucking snap count is what it feels like. And so I got a lot of question marks with the Eagles. Their defense looked a lot better after some of the moves they made at the trade deadline. I like Philly to win this at home by the 2.5, but I don't have a lot of confidence in either of these two teams. Crazy that I'm sitting here saying, Seattle and the Rams are the two teams where I got the most faith in to actually do something this year out of the NFC, which is not at all where I was coming into the season. Wasn't where I was after 4 or 5 weeks, but that's where we are now. And it does appear that Seattle and the Rams and maybe Tampa Bay 3 are the most impressive teams in the NFC.
They very well might be here, Noah. Not to mention, AJ Brown going on Twitch last night and playing Madden as the Eagles, and all he did was throw the ball to himself, and he was saying, "Yeah, look how good I play. This is what happens when you throw the ball to me." And then he had a chance to walk back his comments today, and did not. So AJ Brown is frustrated. They've been frustrated with that offense, and it seems to be continuing. And they have every right to be, in my opinion. I get where you're coming at with the Eagles defense, and I agree with you. This is a better defense than the Lions have faced. I still think it's going to be points for the Lions, and the Eagles, the offense isn't going to be able to keep up. Give me the Lions plus the 2.5. Give me the money line. Let's get an underdog on prime time, baby.
Yeah, again, this is going to be an interesting one. Right now, my confidence level in each of these teams is not very high, as you can obviously tell. Maybe that'll change for one of them or both this game, or I'm just going to be fucking down on both of them even more than I already am. When the Eagles win another 10-7 game.
Yeah. It'll probably, if it is that low, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy. The total's pretty low for a Lions game, 46.5. So,
or we're going to get the complete opposite, and this one's going to be a fucking 45-42 type of game.
One of the two things is going to happen. Both are possible. Monday Night Football, Noah. Let's get to it. Cowboys, Raiders. 3.5-point dogs at home. 49.5 is the total here. Noah, you'll never guess, but the public is grossly on the Cowboys. 76% of the bet, 62% of the money, and double that for the money line. I just want to watch a Monday Night Football game and see a lot of touchdowns, Noah. I work hard on Mondays sometimes, and I want to come home, kick my feet up, and watch a good scoring Monday Night Football game. Hopefully we get that this week.
You may get your wish that we do see a lot of touchdowns because this Cowboys defense, not very good. And the Raiders defense, also not very good. So, I think we're going to see a lot of Dak to CD and George Pickens and Jake Ferguson and
Brock Bowers.
And we'll see some iteration of Geno Smith.
And it's a great defense for Geno Smith to do what he's been doing all season, which is just throw the ball up and hope someone catches it. Doesn't matter which team it is, but someone's going to catch the football. Even then, though,
I got a feeling we could see a big Genty game. We could see a big Brock Bowers game.
For sure.
Might get played in here. Whatever other receivers the Raiders still have.
Yeah, some iteration of the Raiders offense. We'll see. Give me the over in this game, 49.5. I'll even take over 50.5 as it is at some books. Give me the boys. Give me them boys minus the 3.5 here. I just think that there's too much. What's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't feel like there's any chemistry on that offense for the Raiders. And yes, Brock Bowers and Genty are going to get their due, but I don't see it much past that. CeeDee Lamb's going to go for like 150 yards and 2 tutties in this game. Give me them boys minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, echoing that on the Cowboys. I think they're going to take care of business here. Geno might not, Raiders offense might put a decent amount of points on the board, but I don't trust Geno and the Raiders offense not to turn the ball over a few times. And I just think Dallas's offense is going to be pretty much like a hot knife through butter against the Raiders defense.
Does feel like that. No, it does feel like that. I thought there was one more thing in the NFL I wanted to talk to you about. Give me 2 seconds. Because it'd be at the top of my list. Hold on. Nope. I got nothing else. Well, you got anything else, Noah?
I don't. No.
All right. Cool. Well, hey. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to everyone here on Rumble. Over on YouTube and X, y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit the like button, hit the follow button. Does help us out a lot more than you know. I will be live tomorrow for Thursday Night Football. Jets, Patriots, looking to sweat out a nice little same game parlay like we usually do. Gotta love it, Noah. But, hey, thank you all again for listening and watching. I'm the Brofict1 AJ. That's the Money Train, Noah. We'll see you next time on Degenerate Takes.